We know this is his calculated plan. This is their plan. You know what I'm saying? To start a race war. This is what this is going to end up to anyway, because, you know what I'm saying, it's going to happen. And many people are going to die. You know what I'm saying? Many people are going to die. You know what I'm saying? If people don't get it together, that's what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? And they're going to end up in the black communities. I don't care what you say. Hundreds of them. You know what I'm saying? The Republican lawmakers and pundits for the last pundits for last year have, hammered creepy ass, blood sucking, vampire, crooked ass, pedophilia nutcase Biden as a record number of undocumented people, made their way through the U.S. border. You know what I'm saying? Early this summer, the creep Joe Biden administration and the end of the Donald Trump. Listen to this. Let's go back. This is key right here in the scientific understanding of the creep that be, the cult that he is a part of. You know what I'm saying? That would preach that and do that, knowing how our cities and our towns are built and were always built based on that. So a lot of people have to go now because of this creepy motherfucker. Gonna have to get off the naive shit. Yes, it's a free country and it's one of the freest countries, but it's now becoming under dictatorship and you gotta crush it. So you gotta stop being naive and you gotta start watching everything that go on around you. My advice to you is do like everyone else and start buying security cameras for even your apartment. You know what I'm saying? We need security cameras all over and anywhere it can possibly be because if Big Brother is watching us, why the fuck we ain't watching him? Motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? But let's go back to where we was before. Now, in itself, in the psychological wicked beings and the trickery games they play, and he's on the campaign train preaching open border policy and all these goody two shoe shit. You know what I'm saying? And nobody's paying any attention as to the damage, man, that can happen. I don't even think the dumb fuckers of Black Lives Matter and the rest of all the motherfuckers that was out there, black people doing the garbage they were doing, really realized, what's about to happen to them. Because they're gonna sell you out just the same. You know what I'm saying? Because you black and you should vote for the demon blood clot Democrat. Yeah, okay. But early this summer, you know what I'm saying, the Joe Biden administration ends the Donald Trump era migrant policy remain in Mexico, which require asylum seekers to wait in Mexico for hearing in U.S. migrant court as to what is your affiliation coming across that border, and so forth and so forth. Same as if you were to go to another country and seek an asylum, you might have to go through the same thing. They're not just going to let you in because you could be a spy, you could be there to blow up the country, you could be there to do all kinds of shit to these people. You see what I'm saying? So when we look at, back in June, the Vice President Kamala Harris, yeah, and a record number of, apprehensions at the border urged Guatemalan migrants not to enter the U.S., not to enter the U.S. illegally, she said. The Guatemalans have. Do not come. Do not come. Listen to her. Do not come. Do not come. The U.S., the United States, do not come, do not come. The United States will continue to enforce our laws and secure our border. No. The reason why she went down there and said that, or if she even went down there at all, you know what I'm saying, and said anything like that and put it on the media, was to make you think that they are doing something. At the same time, they took down a law that was put in there by a standing president. You came in and took down a law without, without, to me, I don't give a fuck what court and how long it went to sit there and the Supreme Court of the United States itself would allow a creepy president and an administration and Allegations or whoever the fuck he is working on behind the guns and his crooked ass like a puppet, you know what I'm saying, would allow them, because we know they are controlled as well. So we know that that's why it probably happened. But at the same time, but the Supreme Court that's supposed to be upholding the protection and the Supreme Court of Justice over the United States, you're not just there to hear arguments. As a Supreme Court, you know what I'm saying, in my presidency, you would have to come up with certain protection laws as well. Not just waiting for me, the president, to write every single one. If you're talking about a Supreme Court, because when I commit a crime and it goes all the way to the Supreme Court, they're the justice in which gonna make that person have to pay for that crime. But you don't see no crime here. This is the funny part. And you allow the creep, and Kamala Harris runs down there to give her little bullshitical petty face, patty face statement out. Do not come, do not come. The United States will enforce the laws and secure the border. Meanwhile, you're taking down a law by a standing president who had it moving forward in its fullness of the protection of our border from all types of foreign people coming across that border, coming around it, and coming through that border. It could be terrorists, it could be what you know what I'm saying, what they call terrorists, and all types of other people coming in the country. So when we decide to say this and say, they can find you, shoot you right there in your town. Because there's no security, you see, in itself. So she went down there to say that to make you think that they are doing something about the border. She's doing her part about the border because Joe Biden put her creepy butt in charge. So she had to go down there and play it off as if she was. But in essence, Jenkins used the latest footage to imply those efforts have failed in its post on X. Let's just be honest here. In X. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? In more ways than one. Fox News source capture, you know what I'm saying, all this bursting migrants coming from Zacatecas or whatever, you know, heading to our borders. You know what I'm saying? And the American people are still sitting up there naive. You better get up, stand up, and stand up for your rights, because you cannot have that many people in a country like that. That will cause civil war. You know why? Because even the Spanish people that had established themselves over here and have grown over the years over here are now themselves in trouble. Because what they were running from is now running to them. You know what I'm saying? It's running to them. You know what I'm saying? And it's not locked off on that side anymore, because Joe Biden was preaching open door policy and he removed Donald Trump Title 42 that was protecting the United States in all ways. And then choose to put this man up on 91 motherfucking fake ass indictments, talking about some goddamn bullshit insurrection, lying ass June 6th, Nancy Pelosi, done the crazy ass, Chuck Schumer, the rest of your fucking Democrats right here in motherfucking New York and Long Island. You know that you are full of fucking shit. Anytime a greasy head mayor could talk about taking away somebody overtime pay from the police department, protect and serve, why don't you just why don't why don't he just go for it all and just say, well, we're gonna have to contribute about 5 or 6 of your checks from every police officer to pay for the migrant. You think that's right? People, we need to wake up and wake up now. Let's get it, people. Let's get it. Because you're not paying attention. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? They discover where refugees are coming to Europe. We see a story coming out based on that. So we have to take a look at everything that be in itself. You know what I'm saying? Everything that be in itself is most important at this time. Because we're not going to leave nothing unturned, and we need to have more eyes on the prize. You see, we see refugees arriving in New York. Where are they from? I wonder, where are they from? As we see, let us find out in our reads. You know what I'm saying? In our reads. You know? This is coming in by, not sure, September 16, 2023. It looked like Stacker or whatever his name is, trying to hide his name from the rape on his black, but it could be AIDS. It could be AIDS. This looks like the Breeze News or something like that. But it's saying here, you know what I'm saying, when the first 5 months of Russian invasion of Ukraine in early February 2022, the U.S. you know what I'm saying, attempted to admitted more than 100,000 Ukrainian refugees. Most of these refugees were admitted through a special program called Humanitarian Patrol. Yeah, you see how they use these words? When they're the one caused the conflict in order to destabilize the people in the first place. You know what I'm saying? Which, you know what I'm saying, falls outside the scope of the data tracking carried out by the Refugee Process Center. Humanitarian patrols allow refugees who meet certain criteria to gain temporary legal status in the U.S. and applications are processed definitely than traditionally. Refugees resettlement application in January, 2023, the greatest number of refugees admitted by the U.S. came from the Democratic Republic of Congo, Syria, Afghanistan. You know what I'm saying? Each nation struggles with a unique set of circumstances that can make its citizens unsafe if they stay in their home country. Yes, because you have always destabilized you and the ones who is in control of Afghanistan, Congo, and all these different places do not belong there. That's the first thing. You have invited yourself into these parts of this country, and each one is mentioned is Congo, is Africa, one of the greatest nations, Syria, Afghanistan, all Africa. Let's just be honest here. So you are over there disabling people and moving refugees from the left to the right, even when it comes to the border crisis. We see the same shit. You know what I'm saying? So you over there doing this bullshit in Africa and then talking about refugees. when you got Arabs and all types of people involved in all them country that is so now. So you could imagine they even have the black people, Africans, talking about they Muslim. Black man, you better find your God and stop playing around. You know what I'm saying? You better find it and find it fast because the one you carry ain't yours. You know what I'm saying? Not if you got it from them. So you better make sure that what you got is from you and your ancestry, not someone else's. It wasn't my decision, according to the Trump. I think it's Trump Bay. It wasn't my decision. Trump Bay claimed full ownership for directing the efforts to overturn, you know what I'm saying, the 2020 election. So Trump is claiming the full ownership. He's claiming the full ownership to overturn the election. We see it was my decision, Trump claimed. Full ownership for directing the efforts to overturn the 2020 election. You know what I'm saying? Enrollees that won. Now let's check it out. Check it out. Because we know there be doctoring films and all types of shit. So we're gonna see what Trump said in this one here. We're gonna run it on back. And we're gonna do that call. So you can't tell
after you lost more than 60 legal challenges that it was over. Why did you ignore them and decide to listen to a new outside group?
Because I didn't respect them.
You'd hired
lawyers,
them.
Sure, but that doesn't mean, you hire them, you never met these people, you get a recommendation, they turn out to be rhinos or they turn out to be not so good. In many cases, I didn't respect.
So let's see.
I also talked to former President Trump about his actions on January 6th and why he never sent help when the Capitol was under attack. In our conversation, he directly contradicted the sworn testimony of one of his aides, who testified to the January 6th committee that the former president was so determined to go to the Capitol himself after his rally that he grabbed a Secret Service agent inside the president's limo. Take a listen.
I wanted to go down peacefully and patriotically to the Capitol. The Secret Service, who I have great respect for, said, "Sir, it's better if you don't do that. It could be unsafe." Because they didn't because of riots, because it takes one guy with bad intentions. Okay. So I didn't have a dispute with them. You had that one person said, I grabbed the man around the neck. Actually, I wish I was so strong to be able to do that. These are all tough guys, smart guys.
You dispute that account.
Dispute it? Who wouldn't dispute it? She's the craziest account I've ever heard. You mean that I was in the Beast, and she said I was in the Beast, and the Secret Service didn't want. So I took a guy who was like a black belt in karate and grabbed his neck and tried to choke him.
What happened?
How ridiculous. Just so you understand. And I have great respect for Secret Service, by the way. They're fantastic. The Secret Service said, "Sir, it would be better if you did." And I said, "I'd love to do it." They said it would be better until we went back to the White House. Just so you understand, I made a very nice speech.
Tell me how you watched this all unfold. Were you in the dining room watching TV?
I'm not going to tell you. I'll tell people later at an appropriate time. Just so you understand, however.
What did you do when the Capitol was under attack, though?
Let me just tell you.
In the moment that the Capitol
Did you see the statements I made in the Oval Office and just outside of the Oval Office?
Absolutely. I was there that day.
Our police are great. We love our police. We love everybody. Go home.
That was at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, more than
I don't know.
3 hours after the attack
started. But there were tweets
started.
that were put out before that.
I want to know who you called
By the way,
on that day.
Nancy Pelosi. Why would I tell you that? Listen, Nancy Pelosi was in charge of security. She turned down 10,000 soldiers. If she didn't turn down the soldiers, you wouldn't have had January 6th.
Did you call military or law enforcement?
What?
Did you call military or law enforcement at the moment the Capitol was under attack?
I'm not going to tell you anything. Let me put it this way. I behaved so well. I did such a good job. Nancy Pelosi turned down 10,000 soldiers. If she didn't do that,
but
and now
Nancy
I understand that the police.
She's trying to cut him off. She's trying to cut him off.
Listen to me.
She's trying to place the blame.
I understand that the police testified against her, the chief very strongly against her. Capitol Police, great people. They testified against her, and they burned all the evidence. Okay, they burned all the evidence. They destroyed all the evidence about Nancy Pelosi.
What do you say to people who wonder why you as commander-in-chief, you have authorities that Nancy Pelosi doesn't have as commander-in-chief?
No, she has authority over
Why
the
didn't
Capitol.
she send help in that moment, though?
Frankly, just so you understand, I assumed that she took care of it. She turned down.
So when you realized that the National Guard wasn't coming?
Well, you don't realize anything until quite a while. National Guard not coming. I asked it to be there 3 days in advance, and she turned it down.
She says that request was never officially made.
Oh,
just so you know.
Let me just
wow,
let me ask you
about
lying.
She's a good liar, ain't she? As a reporter,
the mayor of D.C. gave us a letter saying that she turns it down. Okay, we have it. Nancy Pelosi also was asked, and she turned it down. The police commissioner
I'm talking about
Capitol
the day
Police.
of,
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Capitol Police said that he wanted it, and Nancy Pelosi wouldn't accept it. She's responsible for January 6th.
Mr. President.
Nancy Pelosi's responsible.
Mr.
And
President, you're the president, though. You have authorities that no one else has.
Wow. You see how the reporter is trying to manipulate Trump into believing that he has to take the sole blame, like he's the only one but supposed to be protecting the White House, not the people who is elected Nancy Pelosi, who was head of the House Speaker, who was supposed to be taking care of that. That was her job, but she kept refusing. I wonder why Nancy Pelosi kept refusing for the military and anybody to come take care of that. And then Trump saying that he had called prior, which he did, 3 days and then put them to be there 3 days in advance. And 3 days in advance, I think they turned and didn't come. And then Nancy Pelosi was supposed to do it, and she refused. And then the letter and the Capitol Police and everybody said the same thing. All of you heard the evidence for yourself. You know what I'm saying? So now we understand why Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer waited 5 hours to call in any type of military help. You see what I'm saying? So this lady is no more than a demon, democratical, undercover, saying, he probably signed the contract, drink the blood, deep state reporter. You know what I'm saying? She's there to try to reverse the blame into Trump and Trump only, to try to make it seem like he didn't have this thing under wraps and he was the chief of commander. But if he's the chief of commander, then what the fuck is everybody else doing there? If he's supposed to take care of every fucking thing, he called, he made calls, he had requests, he put it out there, and he left it up to his secretary to do the job, because now that he's gone, excuse me, I'm going down to the office down here to speak with, Pence in his office for a couple of hours. We're going to have a meeting. Could you keep on calling the military and make sure that goes in while I take care of this? What is Nancy Pelosi's job doing? Just up there doing devil worship shit all the years about old skeleton looking life? You know what I'm saying? And then talking shit. Her and Chuck the Duck fucking Schumer, you're full of shit. Don't give me that shit. You know what I'm saying? You full of shit then, just like you full of shit now. You know what I'm saying? You just trying to make sure that you squeeze the blame on Trump to make it look like all the insurrection, to make it look like it was an insurrection done by Trump, and Trump ignored shit. Like he said, why would he grab the guy by his neck? The guy is a black belt karate expert. He's an old man, about 74 years old. You know what I'm saying? He wish he had the strength to do so. So we know for well that something ain't right with that. But we know why they didn't take him there. You know what I'm saying? We got that, you know what I'm saying, under wraps. But at the same time, when we look at this situation, why did Nancy Pelosi keep refusing help from the military? They even told her to do it. They even said it should have been done. She said no. The good police there requested some shit. She said no. Time happened. She said no. So we know. So this is point blank saying, stay right, stay tight, stay in the fight, and we're going to get it right. I'll be back in a little while to examine more tonight. Farewell. One. We will meet again.